we have to discuss the materials that I've used. So I gathered natural materials from around the wild areas, the abandoned areas. And I use the weeds because no one cares about the weeds. Weeds are considered bad things to some people. For me, they're good things. They're part of the cycle of life. Certain insects live on these plants. So for me, they're important. And since they're a waste for many people, I can use them and there's no problem to gather them. All my works are temporary. Life is temporary, transitory. There's a moment of beauty, and then the work deteriorates all by itself in nature. But all by itself is like saying the wind and the rain and the animals and the people. All those things contribute to its gorgeous beauty because we as people perceive it and look at it, and the other half is it destroys it as well. I'm waiting for more wind to blow so it sways more. I want my work to be alive, and a bronze sculpture in the olden days is always there and always very stiff. And I wanted to break that cycle of rigidity, and because life is fluid. It cannot be made any other way. Yes, I could use maybe a cable, but it doesn't have that feeling of life. And also I'm working with these natural materials, and they're all organic. Yes, how did I hold it together? I bound it with rope. Each section is knotted, and it's being held, yes, by the rope, but also by the materials that I'm working with. The stems of the plants hold it in place, and it will dry and become lighter as it ages, and it's going to change colors. It's going to go from the yellow will sparkle to white or gray, like an old beard. Huh?
Okay. Okay. Now we have to go to the next one. That's all with the ladder.
Coming together to make this kind of work is, yes, chance, but not chance. One piece leads to another, and the idea, one idea leads to another idea, and there's many variations of work. And I learned how to refine one form to another. I use squares in the beginning, triangles after that, spirals, and ovals. One of the things that I started using a few years ago that I don't know anybody have used before is just the natural science of a line suspended, and it drops and sways. And this is what I have here. But in Iraq, from our history, they made a beautiful building out of brick. All I know and it exists in this arch form, and how it was done, I was told it was an iron chain that was hung upside down. I think the Romans used it also. So I use that form in some of the works. I just do, at times, one swag. I did that in a gallery here in Milwaukee. And then I went to Japan and used that one swag, but I split it off. That was last year in Yokohama. It becomes a form I like to use. And I made a piece in Canada last August, and it was over a bowl. This could be over a bowl, and there were trees that were 90 feet high, and I just put 3 long swags going across this wetland bowl with special grasses. And when the trees moved on top in the wind, the swag moved on the bottom, so it was kinetic and alive, almost magical. So these are some of the forms I am playing with. I just came back from Korea in August. I was there, and I made a work on the river out of bamboo. But this was more a very large work on the river's edge. And when the river flooded, then it was surrounded by water. The tops of the bamboo moved. And it could only be made with bamboo. So there's some of my travels. Also, I've done a work in Italy on a mountainside, and I'm used to working over water, so I love this flatness. What a coincidence. I'm over water here as well. And I thought, this summer I didn't make any water pieces. Well, water is important in my work, even for the meditative sounds. So I live in West Allis, and I travel the world. And I think no matter where you come from, it comes from inside you. And there's always positive and negative things in the educational society of any city, in any place. And I think if you have a dream, if there's a dream, or if you have a drive or a goal, I think you pursue it. And I think you have to look at the world from here as your base, but also every place else to understand other people. And when I travel, I glean information from them to use in my work. And I just believe in participating in any event here in West Allis, or Milwaukee, or Chicago, or wherever things happen.